Hey everybody, welcome back to 613 Mopar. If it's your first time here, just welcome. Grab yourself your favorite adult beverages, pull up a chair, and hang out a bit. Now, before we get down to what we were going to do today, I want to give a shout out to my brother Robert, lifelong Mopar guy. Had a little discussion about what we saw last episode with the rims and the pitting that's going along in the center. Apparently it's an issue with these rims. It's not a case of where somebody got a little bit clumsy when changing tires and stuff. So it's an issue with these rims, and he's had a set and he's got them refinished, and a couple of years later the same thing happens, got them refinished again a couple of years later. Long story short, he doesn't have those rims anymore, and because of him, neither do I. So what we have here, he hooked me up with a friend of his who was selling a gently used but very, very mint set of rims, still with some pretty good rubbers on it. And I'll make it no secret, the rubbers that are on the 300C right now, probably on their last season. But we'll be doing these in a future episode, probably the next one, because I really want to get these rims on there. But for today, what we are going to be doing, a little bit of air conditioning, refrigerant refreshing. See, we had a little bit of a heat wave not all that long ago, and I found that the air conditioning is just a little bit underperforming when things get really, really hot and sticky and gross. So I went out and grabbed myself one of these. Before you go out and you grab yourself one of these, you do need to research a little bit and make sure what refrigerant your car takes, or the AC system on your car takes. Because the thing is, there are a number of different ones, and if you end up putting the wrong one in there, well, you're not really helping anything. If anything, you might have made the performance a little bit worse, which will mean that you'll have to bring it to your garage or your dealer and have them suck out all the ice juice that's in there and put in all the correct one, which is going to cost you an awful lot more than getting this part done right in the first place. So, maybe without further ado, let's get on that. Okay, so here we are. Got our ice juice, and everything we need is in the engine bay. So, let's go have a closer look. So what you're going to need to find now is, one, you're going to find your air conditioning compressor and your low pressure service port. First thing we're going to do, we're going to locate the air conditioning compressor, which might be hard to see, but it is actually right down here. We can focus in. There we go. This pulley right down here is the air conditioning compressor. We'll show you how that works in a second. And to find your low pressure service port, you could probably look it up in your user manual or in Google. But if you can follow the air conditioning compressor, you see this little line, little hose right here that comes up, goes up over here, and you'll see these two lines, one on top of the other here. Now, this one here is actually going to be your high pressure service port. Now, I'm not sure if this is the same with all vehicles, but the difference between the high and the low pressure, as you can tell, they got a thin line up here, you got a thicker line down here. The thicker line on all the vehicles I have done this on is the low pressure side. But again, check out your user manual or check it out on Google, wherever you want to look it up and find where your low pressure line is. Now we got to find the port. I don't see anything up here. Oh yeah, it's underneath. Oh, that's handy. So I guess what we're going to need to do to give myself a little bit more room, I don't want to be pressing on this too much. I probably would be able to do it, but it would be an awful lot easier just to take this off. So let's do that. Now I'm just going to take this off. Make sure you don't drop anything in here, because, you know, that's the oil fill. And we just pull and pull. And we'll set this down. And we'll put this back. Simple as that. Now we have all the room we need to be able to access this port. Now let's get the ice cube juice. And, got handy instructions that we're, of course, not going to follow. Ice cube juice also has a nice handy little gauge on it. What it does, it tells you when you're doing okay, when you're putting a little too much, and you're going way overboard. It's kind of like the tachometer on your car. This might be fun to get into the red line, but you're getting into dangerous territory. And you're probably going to hurt something. So now, just screw this back on. And now we're ready to go. So what we're going to be doing here, we got to go and unscrew the cap that's on the low side service port. And we just attach this in. This is said to be a foolproof connection. They haven't met this fool yet, so we'll see about that. So let's go down here. There we go. Unscrew this. Put this aside because you definitely don't want to lose that. And we'll see if this actually does connect well from this angle. Oh. This is not working out very well. Okay, so after fiddling around a bit, we got the connection installed. And of course, it's in a way where we can barely see our gauge. This is going to be awesome. And I guess now what we're going to do is we are going to start the car. Now, I apologize ahead of time. I do have a clip-on microphone on, so I don't know how much noise is going to come through, especially when these fans kick on, when the air conditioning goes on. So, let's get her started. Okay, I'm going to show you this air compressor down here. You can see the pulley's turning, but the center is not. When we turn the air conditioning on, boom, the center starts to spin and the air conditioning system's doing its thing. Now, of course, with your air conditioning on, you want to make sure your temperature is at the lowest possible setting. Your fan is cranked, so your air conditioning is working to its highest capacity. And you get your little handy-dandy thermometer in there that'll tell you how cold the air is that's coming out. Now we're going to let this vehicle run for a few minutes, and we'll see what the temperature is then. So while the engine is warming up and the air conditioning is pumping out, just notice here, you've got your coolant usually listed on the label either up here or up here somewhere on the hood, but in my case, it's down here. Coolant R134A AC refrigerant. Now after running it for a few minutes, you can see the temperature of the air coming out of the vent is somewhere around 14-15 degrees Celsius. So we'll give her a little bit of a recharge, and then we'll see where she is after. Okay, so what you need to do first is, of course, you need to give the can a good shake. I'm going to try to get the gauge in view of the phone. And what you want to do is you want to give little short 30-second bursts with the coolant. So let's give her a go. And of course, apologize. I'm not sure about whether you can hear that or not, but the extra fans came on for the air conditioning system to cool it down. So now we should be about done. Let's take a look at where we are. We are a little bit into the yellow, which, is not terrible. That's about as far as we're going to go. So now that we are done and the air conditioning is still pumping, you can see that it has made
a bit of a difference. Now the temperature of the air coming out of the vent is hovering somewhere around 11-12 degrees Celsius, so that will help on those really hot days. Excellent. Now that we're all done, all we got to do now is button her down, close the hood, and the day is over. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe. Hit the like button down here. Type in some comments down below if something else you want to see. And, there's a notification bell somewhere around. So hit that if you want to be notified the next time we post a video. Thank you for watching again. We'll see you next time.